at the beginning and establishing those norms for discussions. And so I thought I would, create an anchor chart to list some of those questions, some, I guess, going back to norms, things that we could use to help us during our discussions and practice that because I even thought maybe about pulling up one of the videos where we were, watch a classroom discussion, because it takes so long sometimes to move them to where you want them to be able to talk about it.
Right.
So.
Right. Always working together, small groups, and building a sense of comfortableness in being wrong, and that being wrong is sometimes a right, and that we can learn from what they did, and being comfortable enough to come forth and say, I didn't do that right, because that's when learning happens.
Yeah, being able to work with a variety of partners, letting the kids get to know each other and that they can depend on each other to have those discussions, but also to have those as a whole class and let the students start to take over the conversation, to take responsibility for their own learning. So when a student's answer goes up, it's not me choosing what feedback to give them right away. Maybe the class sort of jumps in and the rest of the class is asking them questions about their work. Well, why did you do it this way? Hey, that's similar to what I did. Sort of get that discussion going.
And being comfortable enough to do that is
That,
very important.
Yeah, feeling safe, building that safe environment.
I think we've talked a lot about the growth mindset. I know for me this year, my team, we're working on the leader in me habits, the 7 habits of successful students, and I think that's going to go hand in hand in building that community and making our students feel more comfortable with each other and leading those discussions in the classroom.
Yeah, I just think focusing on growth mindset, that's not something they come to your classroom naturally. And so talking about it, some of the videos we've seen, some of the activities on UCubed, I think using those and I want to spend like the first week of school or the first couple of days of school just focusing on that and setting up my math community with that and having them focused on, we talked about, you need to persevere, you need to keep going, and so if we do activities where they have to actually put that into action.
I also think that it's going to be important to get that started, that we do like a pre-survey type thing to see where they are. I mean, they can always say that they have a growth mindset, but I think that most of our students are coming in with a fixed mindset.
Yes, and so I think maybe like a survey or having them kind of self-rate, like how they feel about math and how they feel about mistakes and those different things.
I feel like on day one, I start with this is how our math class is going to look. Here's where our manipulatives are housed. Here's how I expect you to take care of our manipulatives. I do go through like sort of the productive struggle process with them. It's not always going to be easy. It's not always going to be right or wrong. I do try to use these bounce cards with sort of like sentence starters to help them understand how to bounce their ideas off of other people. And just I feel like the quicker you get the routine established, the more efficiently you can use your time and get more accomplished.
And I like to give mine just give them a task, maybe even a 3rd grade task. Not necessarily something that we've worked on so far, but give them a task and just see where they are, and then go from there. So because if they're if they're good perseverers, and that's not something I need to pay strong attention to. They're not good conversation. If they're not good at conversing with each other, being partners with each other, then that's something I want to work on. And then once I gauge that, I think the norms are easier to be established that way, and those kind of things, so they can see, what I expect of them and what they should expect of each other. So I think I want to start that way and just build those norms based on how they do.
We do some simpler tasks too sometimes that are fun, just to kind of get them used to working with groups, and that collaboration started just before you really get into the mathematical part of it, but some of the fun stuff to kind of get that community building and stuff like that.
I'm just excited about having a really good, strong math community in my classroom. Just being able to see where my kids fall at the beginning of the year and how far they come, not only in the sense of mathematics, but also as a community, being able to work together and do things together, and not quite I guess, like struggle on their own quite as much.
How do you think you might establish that mathematical community?
I think the most important thing is trust, being able to, the students to feel comfortable sharing their answers and being able to explain it and being able to build that community where they can help each other in a respectful manner.
I think respect is like a big part of it. Like, you've got to respect your kids, and then your kids have to in turn respect you, but they're not going to give you the respect if you don't give it to them first. So like that wait time, being able to wait for them to like respond back to you, not cutting them off if they're starting off with the wrong answer, just kind of letting them talk and figure out exactly what they're trying to say. I think that's like such a key component. And then always like asking them questions, not so much like always you answering like if they kind of got it wrong here and there, just always being open to whatever the kids have to say. I think that's a big part of it.
I mean, last year one of our focuses was on growth mindset, and so I think that's going to carry over into the math aspect of it. Just having the tasks where they can collaborate with each other and they feel comfortable sharing their mistakes and talking through what they've learned, and just having that safe environment for them.
And I do that a whole lot in my classroom from the get-go, not just math, every subject. I want the children to feel like this is a safe place to have a mistake, because one of the things that I have up in my room is if you don't make a mistake, you're not learning. And I work really hard on keeping that mindset that it's okay to make a mistake, because that's how we're learning and to support one another. You know, we're a family, we're not going to make fun of each other. And I want to continue that. I want to get them to the point that they explain a little bit more than what I've actually had them to do in the past, to be more specific. You know, tell me exactly what you're thinking, and, you know, go at that. And somebody else will, I don't understand that. That's what I'm looking for. I want everybody to feel very comfortable understanding, sharing their knowledge.